So the very first feature that we've added is color coding. So this is kind of exciting one. I'm gonna show it right now. Is that we have the capability on a list to define rules and say, hey, when this specific criteria has been met, I want to do something with it. So in the example that you're seeing right now, I have a couple of rules applied to this particular list. The first rule you'll see in the state field, I basically have said anytime I have Illinois as the state, I want to make this blue, right? And so now this kind of stands out. So if this is something that you're looking for, again, this is maybe a bad example, but I wanted to showcase that we can have multiple layers, because you can see a lot of this is red down below. Why is this red? Well, I have a rule on here that says if the customer has a positive balance, then I want the entire line to be red as opposed to just a field. So how does that get set up? Let me show you. If I go back into my connector here, and I got to get the right one. If I go into this connector, and I was doing this on the customer list, you'll see this new option shows up on a list. So I can set the color coding on this. Now you can see, I told you I had two different types. I had one where I made the entire row red. So let's go ahead and look at this. Basically, we have a couple different options, right? I can set the entire row, I can set a specific field, or we have something kind of unique inside of here that allows us to say, hey, I want to look for duplicates. And so if there is any duplicates in this list, maybe it could be like an email address or something like that. It'll start looking for those duplicates and help you identify which records you maybe need to merge into one account or remove an account or something like that. But in this example, I said, hey, I want to make this entire row a different color. And so you get this option to choose from your predefined palette. Now, one kind of cool thing, you actually can define more colors on your palette. So if you want to match it to your favorite NFL team colors or soccer team or whatever it is, you can actually put in new colors inside of there, and then they'll show up inside of this list. But here's an important part as well is when you choose some of these darker colors, it may make sense to change the text. So in this case, we've changed it from a black text, which is the default, to a white text color, just to have it stand up. And then this is where it gets fun, right? I'm putting a rule on here that says, I only want to do this where the customer balance is greater than 0. So let's change it from 0 to 5,000. Right, this should eliminate a few more of them, but you can see we can have as many of these on as makes sense, and then you can do that. So I'll update that. If we look at this here also, here's the one that's set up on a field instead of just the entire row. We're now saying, hey, I only want to change the color of one field. And so in this case, we change it to a dark blue, again with the text color of white. And we had a very specific rule on this one, only where it equaled Illinois. So if I go ahead and go back to our list here, and actually let me refresh that. Oh, I don't know if I did that right. Okay, yep, there we go. There's refreshing. So now there's our cutoff, right? Only the ones that have more than a $5,000 balance are showing red, whereas before, all of them that had a positive balance were. So just a kind of a nice little thing, a little visual indicator to help you work with your data a bit more.